Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to your favorite program, our favorite program, The Conversation, coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Nelson Ekujimi, and I have with me in the studio Comrade Gbemisola Akosa, the Executive Director, Center for 21st Century Issues. Comrade Akosa, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, The Conversation, like we all know, is a topical issues program that deals with happenings in Nigeria and in the diaspora. At the top of the bill today, we want to look at the forthcoming local government elections in Lagos State. Sometime last week, the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, called LCDA, released the timetable for the 2025 local government elections. It starts with the parties conducting their primaries, the continuous voters registration exercise, and it will culminate with the election on July 12, 2025. As we speak, if you observe happenings in your environment here in Lagos, you will see that the political parties have started beating the drums. And what do I mean by this? They are already gearing up, maybe in terms of consultations, their meetings and what have you. And at the level of the civil society organizations, we are also warming up to partake in observing that election. But there's an issue with regards to that election that the coalition of political parties have queried. Some of them are saying that they are going to participate only in 20 local governments. That LASEC claiming that the election is going to hold in 57 LG and LCDA is not acceptable to them. That for them, that is the saying of some of the political parties, that for them, only 20 local governments are recognized by law. And for some of us, we are aware that we were part of the decision-making process when the Lagos State House of Assembly had a public hearing, I hope you recollect, last year at the Lagos State House of Assembly complex on the local government law. And the consensus by all Lagosians present at that fora, which I'm sure has been passed into law by the House, has been sent as a bill to the governor. I heard from some sources, I cannot confirm, that it has now been signed by the governor, that the election is going to take place in 57. So, I don't know on what parameters those parties will leave out 37 and run along with 20, because I recollect that when the 37 LCDs were established and the federal government under former President Obasanjo challenged the establishment of those LCDs. You know, the Supreme Court ruled that the process aligned with constitutional procedures, but that it was inchoate, meaning that the local government, the process of enlisting the local government in the Constitution rests with the National Assembly. So
they are okay, it's okay, go on.
So I want to believe strongly that the people of Lagos are warming up. I want to believe strongly that the Lagos State Ministry of Information, as well as the Information Department of LASEC, as well as the political parties, are already interfacing.
Yeah. Because
there is need for all of us to be on the same page. If a political party decides to participate or not, that is a right.
Yeah,
that they can exercise. Nobody under law has the authority to force anybody to participate. So, what are the signs out there for us to ginger or for us to motivate the electorate? Because the most important stakeholders that we need to bring on board now is the electorate, and I don't know how the political parties are already doing that. And if you ask me, I'm not even seeing that as a public, as a public focus.
You must be honest with yourself right now to understand that right now people are still going through the process of finding the right candidate at the political level. Yeah.
No, the parties have not brought up their candidates.
See,
we still have aspirants.
That's what I'm saying.
We have billboards all over the place.
The process of
picking the candidates
getting
of the party.
aspirants,
Okay.
People, lobbying, talking to people so that they become the candidate of their
flag bearer of
their party is still on.
Okay.
It's a process that is on.
Yes.
And people are more focused on that
Yes.
right now,
Yes.
rather than going to the electorate. Because
Yes,
at the
yes.
end of the day, it is when you have your candidate and INEC has accepted.
And
LASEC, has accepted. That is, then it will
now
go full
it will
blown
now
out.
be released out.
Yeah, we'll go out and then start convincing the electorate.
electorate.
So that's the status
Okay.
that is on the ground now.
Yes.
So you can't blame people if they are not yet reaching out to the real electorate, because they have to first of all reach out to the electorates within their parties first, and then get that cleared, that's removed from the bucket list. Then you can now start talking to. But then for us as civil society, we can start
mobilizing, creating awareness around
raising awareness, and that is the work of the civil society. And I dare say that civil society needs a lot of financial support to do that.
I agree with you.
To really do that, because in most cases we get funds from international organizations, development partners, and I see that most of the interest of development partners actually aligns with
national elections.
Yeah, national elections. So,
how do we change?
Yeah,
or how do
though we have
focus?
seen some organizations,
Yes.
civil society, who have gotten some funds to really
do
their
job
around,
within their election.
Around their local government, but they are very few. And maybe the reason is because the local government elections don't take place at the same time in the different states. So the time that Lagos State will have its own may be different from what Kogi is doing.
Absolutely. States have the liberty to determine the state's independent electoral commission.
It's a staggered election.
It's a staggered election.
So if that is the case, to now go around 36 states of the country, it's a whole lot of
you require a whole lot of personnel and finances.
That local CBUs should get more involved in the state processes, because they are well localized. They are the ones on ground. Local NGOs in the states should be much more should be ready to work with their state LASEC.
With their state SIEC.
SIEC, whatever, SIEC, to do that. I remember for some years now, my organization have been accredited to monitor the local government. At least we've got accreditation twice. But what is not too good for us in terms of relating with the Lagos State Electoral Commission is that most of the time, maybe it may be 2 weeks to the election that they start talking to us. And talking to us may be just one meeting. And then once they give you your accreditation letter, they just allow you to have 5 observers, which is, to me, is too small.
Comrade Akosa.
Or maybe they wanted to make sure that if they are going to accredit up to 50 organizations, they will just give them 5, or maybe except for some coalition, they are able a bit to push, and then maybe they give them up to 10. But I've not seen them giving them a whole lot number of observers.
Comrade Akosa, I totally align with your position, because I recollect that at the last local government election, I think that was in maybe 2021, if I'm correct, or 2022. I remember that the number of observers were, because my organization also was accredited, and we were just allotted maybe between 5 or 10 slots. But with regards to that engagement, I can tell you for free that we had a civil society stakeholders engagement last year at the LICC building at Alausade. But we need, for us to mobilize the stakeholders towards what belongs to all of us, it is important for us to continuously have engagements. Even right now, some of the political parties are already raising, they are raising the rooftops. And for me, I think it is important for us as stakeholders in Nigeria's democratic process to recognize that no election should be trivialized.
At all. I think
If the councillor is as important as the Senate.
I think the local government elections should be the one that we should even take more
seriously.
Because that's the closest level of government to the people. So we need to, these are people in our communities. These are people we know.
Yes.
These are people we should be able to say we can vouch for you.
In fact, about 2 days ago, I saw in my local government, I saw some young men and women in a hall. And when they finished, I heard noises, you know. So I now called one of them later on in the day. I said, what were you guys doing in that hall? Oh, he said they have done the primary for the councillors within their party.
Yeah.
That is the APC. And I said, who now emerged as the councillor? Because I know the former councillor.
Aspirant.
Because under the democratic system, a councillor or a legislator can go for elections as many times as he has no limit, unlike the governor or the chairman of Mr. President who have two terms fixed limit. So he said, they have chosen somebody to replace
him,
the former representative. And I said, why? He said the guy was unreachable, but that day when they had the process, ongoing, that he came around and he was pleading with everybody to forgive him that he has turned a new leaf. I said, well, the ball is in your court. If he has not done well within the party, I can even say it authoritatively. Even a lot of us, if not because of our interest in politics, I can say it. I never saw the councillor for once in my locality, and he was representing us.
Now, did you reach out to him also?
Well, as much as I have a right to reach out to him, I also believe that once in a while, being the representative of the people, he can call a meeting and say he wants to give account of his stewardship in the last 1 year.
I think
I never saw him do that.
I know that over the years, there has been a whole lot of oversight in terms of local government. And I think we as civil society also have not done enough. And I can't blame us. Honestly, I can't blame us because all is a function of funding and support. For you to be able to hold your councillor to account,
you need to bring people.
Yeah.
You need a hall. You need refreshments.
And there's what we call the Association of Councillors. Also, that is the platform by which you can get all of them. And for every local government, you have nothing less than how many councillors?
Some local governments have as much as 10 or more than.
More than.
Some have 7 or whatever.
10 times 57. Let us just relatively say 10 times. How many is that? That's a whole lot. So, and we have civil society, even if it is just focus on one local government, talk to their councillors. Apart from councillors, there are supervisory councillors too.
Yes,
yeah. And these supervisory councillors also they have many.
Yes,
they have. In a particular local government.
The supervisory councillors are appointees of the chairman. But the councillors are the legislatures. So
their work is interrelated.
Yes, I agree.
So these are the policymakers you actually need to engage in terms of accountability, because a supervisory councillor needs to account for the department. We have a supervisory councillor of health. We have works. They're all there. So are they just occupying space?
Well,
they should be able to tell us what they have accomplished. And I think this is the time for us to actually hold some of them to accountability, to account, because we are going into another election. So we should be able to know what we need to bring before them. Because if you don't have information about what has transpired before, you may not be able to know where the gaps are, and you'll not be able to put it before the new candidates or aspirants who are coming that this is what has been happening. We don't want this to happen. Now you are going into this place. This is what we want you to do. For instance, now, do we also organize debate for local government chairmen?
For the local government elective offices.
Yeah.
That is a very critical question.
And it is a very important platform that we really need to put together and explore. But for a lot of us, it's an idea that we have. But if you have an idea, you don't have nothing to
These
fund
resources.
it doesn't work.
Well, thank you very much for your submission, Comrade Akosa. Well, Lagosians and Nigerians, the ball is in our courts. How are we holding our local government administration accountable? In Lagos State, come July 12th, all things being equal, we'll be going to the polls to elect new chairmen or chairwomen and councillors for the 57 local government and LCDs. If you have not heard it, hear it from the conversation now. Get prepared. Go and dust your PVC. And I just hope that INEC will commence the continuous voter registration exercise such that people in those localities will be able to have the right to vote before the day of election. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the conversation. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please continue to watch the conversation coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be right back.